We tend to think of superheroes as these untouchable, godlike figures. But what if I told you they're actually the perfect way to understand something deeply, deeply human? Today, we're going to use these modern myths to decode the basic patterns of personality.
I mean, really think about it. Why are we so obsessed with characters like Tony Stark, or Wanda Maximoff, or Bruce Wayne? Is it the capes? The crazy gadgets? Nah, it's something way, way deeper.
The real reason we love them is because under all that armor and behind all those superpowers, they're a mess. They're complicated. Their struggles, their screw-ups, their very human flaws. That's the good stuff. That's what makes them feel real to us. So that's our mission for today. We're going to use these incredible characters as a kind of map. We'll explore 3 big stories or clusters of personality traits. And a huge disclaimer right up front, this is not about diagnosing anybody. It's about using these archetypes to see the patterns that make our favorite stories tick. Okay, our first story is all about the outsiders. These are the characters who just seem fundamentally separate from everyone else. You know the type. A little weird, a little detached, maybe a bit suspicious. They're the ones standing on the edge of the party, just watching.
And who better to start with than the master of suspicion himself, Nick Fury? His entire world is built on one single idea. Betrayal is coming. He's always looking for the angle, the secret plot. His whole operating system can be boiled down to one phrase: everyone is out to get me.
Okay, now compare that to Vision, at least in the beginning. He's not suspicious, he's just separate. He looks at humanity with this cool, logical curiosity. And here's the key. It's not that he's afraid of connecting with people, he just doesn't really have the desire to. He's not shy, he's just self-contained. His core logic is basically, I don't need people. And to round out our outsiders, we've got Eleven from Stranger Things. I mean, after her upbringing, it's no wonder she has some odd behaviors, some pretty unusual beliefs about the world, and just feels awkward around people. She knows what's real, but her relationship to reality is just different. Her internal monologue is pretty much, I'm different, and the world feels strange.
All right, so we've met the quiet outsiders. Now let's crank up the volume and dive into our second story, the storms. If Cluster A was all about distance, Cluster B is about drama, chaos, and intense, wild emotions. These are the characters who bring the thunder.
And you can't talk about storms without talking about the Joker. He is the ultimate agent of chaos for one simple reason. He has absolutely no empathy, no remorse. He breaks rules just for the fun of it. His entire philosophy, if you can call it that, is just, rules don't apply to me.
Now let's talk about Wanda Maximoff. Her entire tragic story is powered by this massive, overwhelming fear of being abandoned. That fear fuels everything: the emotional roller coasters, the unstable sense of self, and that pattern of seeing someone as a perfect savior one minute and a horrible villain the next. Everything she does, from Westview to the multiverse, really comes from one raw, painful plea: don't leave me. Hey, remember Thor from his first movie? So arrogant, so dramatic, always had to be the center of attention. His emotions were huge and loud, but maybe a little shallow. He needed all eyes on him all the time. His whole vibe was a constant, booming demand. Look at me!
And of course, we have to talk about the man himself, Tony Stark. Genius, billionaire, playboy, philanthropist. He has this incredible sense of his own importance and a bottomless need for people to tell him how great he is. But we all know, deep down, it's covering up some major insecurity. Still, the face he shows the world is built on one core belief: I'm exceptional.
Okay, that brings us to our third and final story, the Warriors. Now, if the storms were all about explosive action, this group is all about avoidance. These are the characters whose lives are shaped by anxiety, insecurity, and this desperate need to feel in control.
And is there a better example than early Peter Parker? He's not a loner because he wants to be. He is desperate to fit in, to hang out, to ask MJ on a date. But he's just paralyzed by the fear that he'll be rejected. That internal battle is his whole world. And it boils down to, I want friends, but I'm scared.
So this brings up a really common mix-up. What's the difference between someone like Peter and someone like Vision? It's all about what they want. Peter desperately wants friends, but is too afraid to try. Vision just doesn't really feel the need. It's the difference between I'm too scared to go to the party and why would I want to go to a party?
Okay,
Think about Steve Rogers before the super soldier serum. He was a good man, but he was also someone who needed a mission, who needed someone to give him orders. He thrives when he has clear guidance because his biggest fear is being left alone without a purpose. His mindset is simple and direct. Tell me what to do.
And finally, we have Batman. Bruce Wayne is completely driven by a need for control, for order, for perfection. Now, this is different from OCD. This is a deep personality pattern where he sees his rigidness and his obsessive planning not as a problem, but as his greatest strength. For him, it's a feature, not a bug. He doesn't just think his way is the best way. He truly believes there is only one correct way.
So, there you have it. We've journeyed through 3 totally different stories: the Outsiders, the Storms, and the Warriors. We've seen how these powerful patterns give life and depth to the characters we know and love. Let's just wrap it all up with a quick review.
Here it is, the ultimate cheat sheet. If you take away just one thing, make it this. Cluster A, weird and distant. Cluster B, dramatic and chaotic. And Cluster C, anxious and fearful. It's a simple framework, but it's super powerful for understanding characters.
And I have to say this one last time because it's the most important takeaway of all. This was an exercise in understanding stories, not diagnosing people. We're using these ideas as a lens to see why characters are so compelling. These are patterns in stories, not labels for real-life human beings.
So, I'll just leave you with this question to chew on. The next time you're watching a movie or reading a comic, think about these 3 stories: the distant outsider, the chaotic storm, the anxious warrior. Which of these patterns do you see popping up in the heroes and villains that you love the most? Thanks for watching.